another edition of It's Still Real to Me. Jonathan Zaslow here with my pal Joey Levine. And of course, everything Zaslow Show 2.0, including It's Still Real to Me, is brought to us by our title sponsor, Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys. If you've been involved in any kind of an accident, slip and fall, hit and run, car accident, motorcycle, boating, whatever it is, you go to the best accident attorneys around. You let them get you the money that you deserve. Anidjar and Levine. Accident attorneys, 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. We are immediately after Night of Champions with our reaction show. So hopefully you guys are catching this shortly after we've recorded it, as it's all fresh on all of our minds. A 3+ hour show, not too long. I thought it hit just the right notes, didn't outstay its welcome. And once again, it's funny, Joey, because the very first WWE show that they had in Saudi, so we're talking like, I don't know, it was probably like 4 years ago or something. The very first one, it was totally a glorified house show. It was just like nothing special happened. No stories were advanced. It was just a show essentially for the sake of having a show. And now, really the last several of these shows out in Saudi, especially the one today, these are major, major shows.
Yeah. Today's show, well, I mean, you don't consider Lacey Evans versus Natalya as a big deal. I mean, come on, let's have a little respect for the first ever women's match in Saudi Arabia. That was a better match for Natty than today's match. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting because it just seems so random that this pay-per-view is happening this month too, right? With Backlash as usually this month pay-per-view, 2 pay-per-views this month. But obviously the relationship with Saudi Arabia has grown in a massive way, and they're going to continue to make these shows just as maybe as important as any shows. I mean,
it was like originally, it seems like originally the whole idea of the shows in Saudi was, all right, well, we're just going to bring back old names. They want big names, and you know, it's Goldberg and it's Undertaker and Kane and it's Shawn Michaels and it's just bullshit. You know, that's originally what it seemed to be, and it totally morphed into, yeah, this is a major show in a stadium, and we're going to treat it as such.
Yeah, well, it also feels like they had a little stretch there around that time when they first started the Saudi shows, where they were just going places and trying things. Like they did the show in Australia. They did the show didn't they do a show in India? Right. They had like a big pay-per-view or premium show in India. That was
maybe
sort of
when
like
Jinder Mahal was the champion.
I think, they were like glorified house shows also. Right. Wasn't so like, it seems like those maybe didn't stick so much. And they were trying places out, like, where are we going to build our next big relationship? And maybe Saudi was where they were like, all right, well, the crowd seems into it. They're probably paying them a ton of money to come there. And yeah, I mean, that having this pay-per-view also, I mean, I think we probably underplayed the importance of Sami Zayn finally being on a Saudi card.
He was very pumped up coming to the ring there today.
And the crowd, I mean, you know, we were one of the big things we talked about leading up to this was, what will the final match be, right? They build it as a triple main event, but what will the final match be? Will it be the new title, or will it be Roman? We didn't even consider, like, had you not put Sami last, you could have potentially deflated the rest of the show. It would have been like Sami not being last at Elimination Chamber.
Well, so let's start with that, because the very first thing when the show starts and the World Championship match is the first match, that's a big story, okay? Because, hey, does the World Championship, they're crowning this new World Championship, shouldn't it go on last? Because it already comes off to a lot of people as a secondary title, a consolation prize, and then you're also not going to put it on last. You know, that only adds to that whole deal that this is so much of a consolation that not only are they going to crown the champion not at the end of the night, but guess what is still going to be at the end of the night? It's going to be Roman Reigns, and it's Roman Reigns in a tag team match. I understand it's for the tag titles, but it's Roman Reigns, and he's in a tag team match But I think we all see now, because of the way that the night ended, it's obviously the right choice. You could not have the way this show ended not end the show. It was absolutely the right move to put the world title on first. You had to close with what closed the show. You had to.
I would say that, but I think we may disagree on this. Although, regardless of what happened, which we'll talk about,
and you knew something huge was going to happen because the world title was on first.
But to me, it's because Sammy was in the match. Like if KO,
funny, I don't agree with that.
So, but you had to end with that crowd. Sammy coming out, doing his intro in I don't want to say the language because I'm going to sound like an
whatever
idiot.
The garb is called, right?
Whatever language it was.
When he was introducing himself, it must have been Arabic, right?
Was it Arabic? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know Arabic. I don't know anybody who speaks Arabic other than Sami Zayn. So he comes out. I mean, the crowd. Look, to me, if you're not going to have Roman in a title match, it made it that much bigger because it was against Sami Zayn. That's totally made that match feel more important. There's a lot of things about this whole show. The show is entertaining. There's a lot of things about this show that make no sense. Having the world title go first, again, makes no sense. It makes sense in the context of what happened at the end of the show.
Yeah.
But like you said, it diminishes what the belt is, and everybody already thinks it's a secondary belt, right?
Well, after you finish here, I'm going to tell you why it does not diminish, but go ahead.
Well, it doesn't. I don't know if you're going to say this. It's because Rollins got it. But, Rollins is clearly the only person who got a bigger reaction than Sami Zayn was Seth Rollins. I mean, Seth Rollins is clearly as over worldwide as he is in the States. But so you have the world title go first. It's Night of Champions. 3 titles are not being defended on the show. The U.S. title's not on the show. And the the 2 main championships are not being defended on the show. It's the 1,000th day of Roman.
No, but here I think here's where you got to draw the line. It's Night of Champions, not Night of defend all the championships.
But that's what Night of Champions has always been. Why have a show called Night of Champions if all the champions aren't going to fight on the show?
Well, but you're saying how the 2 biggest titles weren't defended. Again, it's Night of Champions, and that guy who holds those belts was fighting.
Yeah, but Roman Reigns was not the champion tonight. He was the challenger. And also he was
still fighting.
Hold on. He was the challenger on the 1,000th day of being the champion and didn't defend his championships and lost on the 1,000th day of his title reign.
Yeah,
it was entertaining, and what happened was great. But what happened could have happened in another, like in a title match potential. I don't know. Things could have happened. Like they could have had Jimmy turn on Roman or whatever in another way. Whatever. The match was great and it worked out well. But I guess my point is, I think a lot of this was because Sammy was part of it. And I think I, at least, maybe you didn't, I underestimated the impact of Sami Zayn finally being at a Saudi Arabia.
Oh, I did too. Yeah, I did also.
To me, I guess I just didn't think about the fact that him being there for the first time and his relationship to the area was going to be, it sounded like Elimination Chamber. It did. To me, it was a little different. It's like not as loud because it's not as intimate of a setting and whatever.
And you know what? It was a small stadium too. Like they didn't have like an upper deck.
Yeah. But I think having Roman going for the tag title, like if it was Roman versus the Usos, if it was Roman and Solo versus the Usos, that match wouldn't have made as much sense. It wouldn't have made as much sense. You wouldn't have had the reaction that you had from the crowd in that match throughout the match without Sami Zayn.
No, but you're right. But that still, to me, has little to do with why that match closed. Like if I had to rank the reasons, if I had to rank the reasons that match closed the night, number 3 on the list is Sami Zayn. Number 2 on the list is Roman Reigns. And number 1 on the list is the finish with the bloodline imploding. That's the big, the bloodline imploding. You cannot continue the show after the bloodline implodes. That's the end of the show. Everyone needs to sit on that information and that scene until the next time WWE is on the air. I would rank it Sammy number 3, Roman number 2, and the finish being number 1. That's why it went on.
I don't know. I think if you open the show with that and then you had a 3-hour show and you close it with Seth Rollins winning, it would have been fine.
No, well, yes, of course it would have been fine.
But I'm saying I think the reaction would have been the same, and people would have digested it. The rest of the show, if we're being honest, was just whatever. Like those 2 matches were the only matches. I mean, there was some good stuff.
I mean, Asuka winning the title was really cool.
That was a shock.
Great.
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie. I dozed off during that match. I woke up to see her win, which was shocking and fun.
Finish. Yeah.
Great finish. But honestly, I kind of dozed off during that match. But like the 2, you could have, I personally think that the reaction that the crowd was so hot for Sammy that Sammy going on earlier in the night would have killed all of their adrenaline. It would have killed. Maybe it would have been a massive adrenaline dump for that crowd to have Sami Zayn open the show or go in the middle of the show. Would they have had a crazy reaction for that result in the beginning? Yes. Could they have moved on from it and watched the rest of the show? I think so. If Sami Zayn's not in, but if
I think the rest of the night you're thinking about what just took place. It takes over the entire night. I don't think you could go on after the bloodline implodes. That's the big story. The rest of the night, I'm not focused on everything.
It is in the rest of the world. You're right. In that stadium, Sami Zayn.
Yeah, but also, I mean, come on, like there's more people watching around the world that are in that stadium right there.
Well, I understand. I understand that, but I mean, I think like the crowd makes the show a lot of times on when you're watching on TV.
Right, but the viewer at home is not going to be able to focus on everything else. They're not. And there's more people watching at home than the 50,000 whatever it was that were in that stadium. I mean, there's a billion people watching everywhere
but
else.
But I guess like wouldn't you? I don't know. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I think it all plays
to end the way it did. And that's how you knew when the world title started the night. That's how you knew the finish to the night was going to be enormous. Because otherwise, like the world title, like you'd want it to be. Now here's why I don't think
but see, that's what I didn't think that. Here's why that wasn't the first thing that popped into my mind. Because of Sami Zayn. They could have just had Sami Zayn win. Like somehow win and retain without
I think that would have been disappointing.
Without the bloodline turning, and the reaction would have been, I think it would have been, it might have been disappointing. I don't know.
I'd have been disappointed.
So you immediately were like, what? But you thought the Usos.
I thought shit was going. I thought shit. No, I did not. Like I was surprised when the Usos showed up, but I thought shit's going down tonight.
So you thought you thought Roman and Solo were going to win.
I did think Roman and I told you.
Well, we talked about this. Yeah,
I did think they were going to win. Yes,
I thought there was no chance. I thought there was zero chance. I in the back of my mind, I was like, I do think the Usos show up somehow. I don't know what happens there, but I don't know.
There had to be the next storyline for the Bloodline, because see, I thought that would be the next storyline for the Bloodline is Roman Reigns now has those titles and he gets to hang it over the Usos' heads. There had to be some type of new progression in the Bloodline storyline, and if that wasn't going to be it, which I was wrong, it was not it. Then the other option is okay. It's time to implode, and we're going in that direction. Something huge was going to happen once the world title came out first. I felt. Didn't know what was going to happen, but something big was happening.
Do you think we can have a Bloodline fatal 4-way somehow?
Well, Solo is definitely going to be on Roman's side now because he got kicked in the face by the same guys who kicked by one of the same guys, Jimmy, who kicked Roman in the face. So Solo's going to be on Roman's side.
Yeah. Also, Jay clearly has Stockholm syndrome, right? That's what's going on here?
I guess so, yeah.
It seems that way. He was calling him Joe. He wasn't even calling him Roman or Tribal Chief. He was yelling Joe.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was calling him Joe at the end.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was like, well, he was like, Oos, and then he started yelling, Joe.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was great. I was like, what's happening here? By the way, Jimmy's awesome. And I think like this, the Bloodline has been so great for so many reasons. one of the many reasons has been Jey Uso and seeing him shine in his way.
Mm-hmm.
I think for a while now, people have been like, man, Jimmy Uso is just like a goofball.
No, but I think Jimmy's getting his shine now. Now
Jimmy gets his moment to show what he's about. And also, for a moment there, after the first kick, when he first kicked Roman, he looked like Rikishi to me.
Oh, really?
Because he's getting big. He's getting kind of big. And the way he screamed, I saw Rikishi in his face. I was like, oh man, there's like some intensity here. Even though Rikishi was a goofball too, and had his, with the Too Cool stuff. But I saw it a little bit when he with the first super kick. But the bloodline is just, I said this, I think on either last show or show before. It's like there's the WWE and then there's the bloodline's like their own wrestling company right now. Like they're just
that's why it had to be last. It had to. It would have overshadowed the entire night if it was not last. It's the biggest story. It's bigger than WWE right now. The bloodline. It's the biggest story now. Now let me ask you here. We're headed towards SummerSlam, which is, what are we talking? 3 months away.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm hoping ends up happening here is we get Jimmy. Jimmy's going to get his shine now, the way Jey got his shine at the beginning of the story 3 years ago, whatever it was. So now it's going to be Jimmy's turn to go one-on-one with Roman. Roman's going to beat him. All right. Jimmy's not taking those titles away from Roman. Right. But then I think it sets up Jey going one-on-one with Roman again to avenge his brother.
Do you think it's Jimmy? You think it's going to be Jimmy and Roman at SummerSlam?
No. I'm hoping it's going to be. I'm hoping that happens before SummerSlam, and we're getting Jey and Roman at SummerSlam
next month.
I think we've been saying since WrestleMania. Can we find a way to get to SummerSlam and have Roman versus Jey? Well, I think this lines up timing wise. I think the next big match for Roman, I think it's Jimmy and Roman. Jimmy does not come through. He does not beat Roman, and then it's Jey's turn.
Is there no pay-per-view in June? SummerSlam. Is there no paper?
Usually before like the huge pay-per-views, that there's like a 5 or 6 week period. So let me see.
Money in the Bank's July 1st.
Yeah, I understand, but SummerSlam wouldn't be to the end of August. You got like a 7-week break, is what I'm talking about.
Well, but I'm saying, is there nothing in June?
Yeah. Let me see here. Let me see what we got.
Gotcha.
All right. July. Like wow, SummerSlam's early August. Okay, so July 1, so nothing in June. There's nothing in June. July 1, but it's still just a month away because the next pay-per-view Money in the Bank is July 1. So it's really the normal timing. And then August 5, just another month as well, is SummerSlam. So there's not really a huge layoff. There's no premium live event in June, but there's no real huge layoff in between these events. I think Money in the Bank, we could be getting Jey versus Roman, and then Jimmy versus Roman, and then SummerSlam Jey versus Roman. And can Jey beat him?
No chance. I don't, because you still have to do solo versus Roman at some point.
But I think that's where we're headed. I think this is the direction we're headed in.
It makes sense. I think what I'm interested in, at least this for these next couple weeks, is who does Jey choose? Because you ended the show with Jey very conflicted. Jey doesn't know what to do. Jey has no idea what to do here. I mean, we know what the right move is, Jey, but Jey doesn't know.
And Sammy's role is clearly not done either.
And also, what's going on in Solo's head? What is happening in Solo's mind? That still is the story.
Well, right now,
that's my story. That is my story of the bloodline. Yeah. What is going on in Solo's head?
Yeah, right now he's gonna be mad at his brothers.
I guess, but what does that look like? I don't know. Solo's fascinating to me. Solo might be the most interesting character in the bloodline to me.
So let me tell you why I don't think the world title going on first makes it look like a secondary title. All right. Because it's a fair opinion for people who wanted it to go on last, because that shows you it's a secondary title. Roman is still going on last, and he's not even defending the titles that he has. It's a bad look for the World Championship debuting, and that's a fair opinion. I don't agree with it, but it's a fair opinion, and that's because that World Championship that they gave away today, one day, one night is not making that title. After today, that title is going to be the main championship every single week on Raw. Anytime it's defended, it will be the main event on Raw. Roman Reigns does not defend his title at every pay-per-view. Guess which title is going to be defended at every pay-per-view? The World Championship. And the ones that Roman is not on, which could be every other one, it's going to be a few. The World Championship will always go on last on those. Like, that World Championship, the reputation of that World Championship is not made or lost based on when it debuted today. That title is going to be the feature almost every time it's on television from here on out. So I don't think it's made to look like a secondary title because it didn't go on last today.
That makes sense. I would only counter with the world heavyweight title shouldn't be defended that much.
But that's kind of the point also of it, right? Is that, hey, this guy with his titles is not around all the time. Well, we're going old school where the title is going to be defended all the time, right?
Isn't that what the Intercontinental title is?
Oh,
the workers title. Well, like they're basically saying this is the workers world title.
Yeah, but go back like 15, 20 years ago, the main champions, guys like Cena, guys like Stone Cold, they defended their title every single month at the pay-per-view.
Oh, no, the pay-per-views, yes. But he shouldn't be like...
It's not going to be defended every week. No, but I could see it defended on Raw, I don't know, once every other month. Oh, my God, we got a World Championship match on Raw this week. And it will always be the main event whenever it's defended on Raw. And it's going to be defended every single pay-per-view would be my guess. Yeah. And the ones that Roman is not fighting, which are going to be some, it's always going to go on last on those. That's the point that I'm making.
Yeah. And Rollins. And Rollins is just, there's nobody, I don't think, even Sammy, I don't know that there's anybody more over than Seth Rollins in WWE right now. Yeah. He has done what they have a really hard time doing, which is just becoming a massive babyface.
And everyone knows he really cares about it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people who thought he should have been the one to fight Roman at Mania and beat Roman. There's a lot of people who think he should be the one to finally beat Roman eventually.
Yeah, I agree.
But I guess Roman's never going to lose his titles. So there you go.
He's keeping it until WrestleMania 40, isn't he?
Yeah.
But them making a world championship outside of that would only, lend more credence to that idea. Is that we could keep the belt on Roman. We now have another world championship we could focus on.
Yeah, I think you could do. Not to backtrack. The more I think about it, I could see Roman J at WrestleMania 40.
It's a long time. It's a long time.
I know, but
10 months.
I know, but I don't see in the next 10 months, unless it's somebody that we're just not really considering for the title picture for those belts. I don't think there's anybody but the bloodline involved with Roman like that. I don't think it's Sammy. Obviously, Seth Rollins, at least for the time being, seems he's got his own thing. After today, I hate to break it to all the people who really want it to happen. I don't think Cody's finishing the story with Roman Reigns. I don't think that's ever happened. I actually don't think that's ever happening. And maybe that's good.
Did you like the match?
The Brock and Cody? I'm okay with it.
I liked it.
I'm fine with it. I
like the finish too.
I'm fine with it. I think it means two things. Obviously it means that it's not done and there'll be a blow-off match.
Yeah.
Probably at SummerSlam. Hopefully it's like Hell in the Cell or something. Because they got to do something big now.
It also shows you Cody is not winning Money in the Bank. For people who want that,
exactly. That's what I was going to say.
And I'm glad.
His arm, he already had a broken arm and he just got it broken again.
Yeah.
In this match.
Well, he can't come off a loss to Brock Lesnar and then he wins Money in the Bank. Can't happen.
With a broken arm.
Yeah, it's not happening.
With a broken arm. So yes. So those are the things. I don't know what they do with Cody after Brock Lesnar, but this is obviously going on for a while.
My guess is Cody's off TV for a little bit.
Sure. And we may not see Brock until July.
The lead up to SummerSlam.
The lead up to SummerSlam for when Cody's broken arm is better.
Yeah, so we're definitely getting Cody and Brock at SummerSlam.
Right. Somehow Cody's arm will be healed in a month. And then
Tyler Hero just got out of his cast. Only 5 weeks.
but I didn't mind the match, especially because I mean, obviously the plan is for these two to keep going, and I love Brock Lesnar. I love Cody. So
I'm good with it.
I'm cool with them going that way. That being said, I don't know. I mean, unless I guess you could have Cody beat Brock at SummerSlam, and
which he will,
right? But and then set his sights back on finishing the story. I don't know. Right now for me, I'm cool if Cody doesn't finish the story with Roman. I just don't see how we get back to it right now. I don't think it'll ever be as hot as it was.
I could see a scenario we get back to Royal Rumble and he's in like the final two to win the Royal Rumble again, and he doesn't. And it's like, oh my God, he came so close.
Well, but since this is a reaction show and there's no big dirt, there's been a lot of rumors this week that internally in WWE, they're already planning on a Cody Gunther at WrestleMania 40.
Okay.
I don't know how they could already be planning that, and I don't know who's leaking that information, but that's the rumor that's been going around this week.
Predictably, Gunther and Mustafa Ali was very good. Was there any point in the match that is it possible?
No way.
I tried to trick myself in the middle of the match. I tried to convince myself. There was no convincing.
I didn't even try because I didn't want it. Like, I don't want Gunther. If Gunther's going to lose, it's got to be fucking huge. It can't be against Ali. He's cool. I mean, he's a good wrestler and he's been fun, but it's a cute story. But come on, I didn't even consider it because it would have been obnoxious. I would have hated it. I need Gunther holding on to that title. I need him holding that title longer than Roman.
I'll tell you what. I liked how they mentioned the two Intercontinental champions who have had the title longer than him. Honky Tonk Man, Randy Macho Man Savage. I like that they did. They never used to do stuff like that. Yeah. I love that they do that now. I was hating the entire match of Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. For me, seeing Trish and Lita again, I have an even more visceral reaction when it's Lita, but like, I have no use for them. I don't. It doesn't do anything for me. And it bothers me that Trish Stratus, like, Becky Lynch is all time, right? And it bothers me that Trish Stratus can just come out of nowhere and kick the shit out of Becky Lynch for the entire match, the same way that it bothers me that Lita can just show up out of nowhere and win tag team championships. Like, I don't buy it. I don't buy into it. But so I was hating the whole match until the end, and I loved the end because if I think this whole scenario sucks, at least surprised me in the end, because it seemed like it was a total lock that Becky is going to win this match. I thought there was no scenario, because I couldn't think of one, that Trish is going to win. And now we know Becky's next feud is Zoe Stark. And Zoe Stark is new, so it's going to give her some shine. And like, I dug it. I hate the whole feud, but I dug the ending because I was surprised.
But does Trish go away? You think Trish is going to go away?
No, I think it seems like Trish is going to stick around for a while then.
Yeah. I've been with you on the Lita Trish thing.
Just doesn't do anything.
While I was watching the recap or like the little vignette that they do to preview the match, there was a part of me that was like, man, Trish can still talk. She's still unbelievably hot at 47 years old.
The match was sloppy.
I mean, she's not a full-time wrestler.
Yep.
I think they might do more I think they might move her on from Becky Lynch and go bigger with her.
I don't know, but I do think she's sticking around for a little bit.
Yeah.
I do think so.
Because the way it looked after the match when Zoe Stark came back out from under the ring was that Zoe Stark is going to be like Trish's heavy.
Yeah.
Right.
I think so. And I think that so Becky's next feud is with her, and then maybe they circle back. Maybe they have a round two, with Becky and Trish, and Becky wins.
Oh,
but for now, she's going to have her hands full with Zoe Stark.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking Trish moves on to like another feud.
Well, at the end of the match, or no, she posted on Instagram. Becky posted a picture of her face, which was all covered in blood, and she said, "I'm not done with you, Trish."
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, she got her face broken again.
Yeah,
good for her.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be Trish and Medusa because Medusa keeps tweeting about Trish.
That's right.
Maybe we can just like keep bringing back one generation older.
I mean, maybe they're gonna do a tag now where it's Zoe Stark and Trish against Becky and Medusa.
Well, no, we get Medusa versus Trish, and then Medusa beats Trish, and then who's older than Medusa? Well, I guess most of the women that are older than Medusa are probably not
capable of going anymore.
No, but we've seen crazy stuff with the older generation of women in WWE, getting powerbombed through tables and whatnot.
So Rhea defending the belt was clearly just because it's Night of Champions and we got to find something for her, right?
Yeah, and Natty got a trip to Saudi Arabia on her birthday.
Yep, there you go, which is what every young lady wants, right?
I would say the crowd seemed really into Natty. Like when she got introduced, like there was like a pop. I was actually like, does Natty have like a following there? Maybe because she was
in the first one.
Because she was part of the first one?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Although one of my favorite things about these events in Saudi Arabia is obviously the women have to be head to toe in clothing. So it means that Rhea gets to be head to toe in the dominatrix leather. That is one of my favorite parts of the night.
I saw that. I saw you tweeted that. I thought that Becky Lynch looked very cartoonish.
Well, it was the Kill Bill look. She was looking like the bride.
I know, but she looked more like a cartoon version of Kill Bill.
Well, because her hair's red.
Because her hair's red, and then the yellow. It was very, and then she had like a braid across the front that was like it was very, very strange looking, but whatever. I haven't been a big fan of the last year or so of Becky Lynch's work, if I'm being honest. She's been a little, she's too babyface she's too babyface at this point. Like it's all very, when she talks.
Well, then I think part of it is you got to find her a better heel to work with, is what that means.
Yeah, but I think, when she was the man, like really the man, when the man first started, there was something like badass about her. Now she's just kind of like corny.
Yeah, right.
There's a little corniness to her that it's not really working. She needs to go back to that. Maybe now that she got her face, last time she got her face broken and she was bleeding all over the place, she became the most badass.
So she should get back to the leather jacket and the pants.
Yes. Yeah, and stop trying to out weird her husband. Because that's what it seems like she's doing.
Right.
That's what
kind of weird clothing can I wear this week?
That's what she seems like she's been trying to do for a while.
Yeah. And I thought she was done with that when she, turned babyface, whatever it was, 6 months ago.
Right.
That was the whole shtick with Big Time Bex was she's looking really strange. I thought she was done with all that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Loved Asuka winning the championship. She's going to be a great champion. It's time to go in a new direction. I also think it helps Bianca to start fighting from underneath and to be chasing. That's a good thing. It's going to help Bianca to be chasing the title again. And I thought the finish was really creative. I liked it.
Do you think we can get a Bianca heel turn out of this?
No. I think this is just another tool, for her as a baby face to be chasing the title. I mean, it'll come down the road. Like she was a fantastic heel in NXT. Like it'll come, but I don't think it's coming anytime soon.
Have we ever seen anyone use the braid as a weapon against Bianca as much as Asuka did in this match?
Yeah.
Have we?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, it feels like it's right there it's right there for you for every heel. It feels like Asuka's figured out something that everybody else probably should have figured out a long time ago. Use the braid.
I was thrilled with Asuka winning, but I do have to ask you, when are we going to address the women's titles being on the wrong shows? When is it happening?
I don't know. Maybe never.
It's just never. I'm on SmackDown, but I'm the Raw Women's Champion. I'm on Raw, but I'm the SmackDown Women's Champion. Just never going to happen?
Nothing about the brand split makes any sense.
But there's no addressing it. Like, there's been nothing. Even come out on television and tell me, come out on television and say, we don't care. Give me something. There's nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's strange. I don't know. It's so weird. Are they? I don't know. I'm at a loss. I have nothing funny to say about it. I just don't understand it.
I thought it was great. I thought it was a really good show. Really nice Saturday afternoon. Sit in the couch for a few hours. Get ready for the Heat game tonight. Night of Champions. I enjoyed it, man. I thought it was a fun show. It
was very good. The ending was awesome.
Great.
Austin Theory should have been on the show. I'm not going to let them live that down. I'll give you that Roman was on the show. So those belts, the champion was on the show.
But you're right. Austin Theory was not on the show.
I will give you the Roman part. He was on the show.
It's weird.
Austin Theory wasn't on the show.
You're right. It's
Austin
weird.
Theory should have done. That's it. That is, if I'm going to give the show,
maybe he didn't want to go. Maybe there was something there. Maybe he didn't want to go. They don't force them to go. Maybe he didn't want to go. I don't believe that. I don't believe that that's what happened. But maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's possible. Or maybe whoever they would have wanted him to fight didn't want to go.
Yeah,
I don't know, but that's my only knock. Everything else ended up very good.
Hey, so a huge weekend. We got a few more minutes here. A huge weekend of pro wrestling continues tomorrow. Can you give me like an updated AEW Double or Nothing card?
Yes. Yep. So it's pretty much what we went through earlier in the week. A few matches it looks like have been added, but so we have the Pillars match, which is going to be a great match.
We both agree MJF leaves the title, no doubt.
There's zero chance he loses, but it'll be a fun match.
It'll be good.
I actually, what I want to happen at some point in the match, Sammy Guevara actually does take the deal and he just lays down for MJF. Wow. I want that to happen and make Sammy, and then Sammy becomes the all-time biggest heel in AEW. Like how much people will hate him so damn much.
I mean, they're going to throw garbage in the ring if that happens.
But it would be hilarious. You know he's going to win anyways. Anarchy in the Arena, which will be fun.
Which will be wild, yeah.
I was thinking on that one, like, where's Takeshita been? I'm looking out for him to show.
Okay.
And join Blackpool Combat Club.
Okay.
The unsanctioned match with Chris Jericho, Adam Cole, and Sabu, apparently.
We both agree Adam Cole's winning, right?
I guess so. I can't believe Sabu is going to be a part of it. The tag match, FTR versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal with Mark
That match
Briscoe.
will be fun. That'll be fun.
And that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. TNT Championship, the ladder match, Wardlow versus Christian. I mean, it's got to be Wardlow, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And
then he maybe does something with Luchasaurus, which is what I think should have been.
Yeah, I think Wardlow.
Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm.
Okay, I think Jamie Hayter's got to retain.
Yep. Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie.
I don't know. I'll pick Jade Cargill, but I wouldn't be stunned if Taya Valkyrie won.
It's if it wasn't for 60-0.
I don't know. 60's not a.
I know, but they'll make a big deal out of it. Blackjack Battle Royal.
I love
Orange
Battle Royals.
Cassidy.
Love Battle Royals.
Orange
This is for the title?
It's for the title. For the title. He's defending against 20 other men.
Okay, I think he's going to lose.
I think so too, and it's time. And we can talk about that more in the reaction, but it's time. And then there's a tag match with the Guns and Hardys or something. I mean,
that's a big fat I don't care.
And then also that's not on this list. House of Black is doing like an open challenge. House Rules, House of Black.
All right, that could be fun. Who knows who they're going to fight? That could be cool.
I hope it's the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, because I don't know what they're doing with those guys, but they just sort of disappeared.
You walk out there to get your shit kicked in by House of Black.
Whatever. I mean, do something. But that could be
all
fun.
Right.
I mean, or they could do like a random debut of a.
And what time's this start tomorrow night? 8:00?
Yes.
Timing's great, man. Afternoon WWE pay-per-view Heat game tonight. Tomorrow night we got nothing. It's perfect.
Yep.
Very good. All right, good stuff. All right, so yeah, well, I don't know, maybe early in the week if we want to do a reaction to AEW, if something crazy happens and we feel the need to, maybe we will. Otherwise, we'll pick it back up next weekend, right?
Yep.
All right. You got anything else? You want to say goodbye to all your fans?
See you guys Monday, probably for a reaction.
Really fun show. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that stuff. And we'll talk to you on the next episode if it's still real to me.